ਬੇਪਤ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਕੌਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੂਰ ਫਰੇਬੀ ਧਰ ਤੇ ਬੇਪਤ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਕੌਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੂਰ ਫਰੇਬੀ ਧਰ ਤੇ ਬਦ ਨਸੀਬ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੇਠਾਂ ਖਾਕ ਵਿਸ਼ੈਲੀ ਗਰਕੇ ਮੂੰਹ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਸਮਾਂ ਨਾ ਕੌਮੇ ਮੇਟ ਸਕੇਗਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਪੱਤ ਪਛਾਣ ਲਵੇਂ ਜੇ ਲੜ ਮਾਹੀ ਦਾ ਫੜ ਕੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ Hundreds of Sikh representatives across North America in front of the United Nations are giving a message, and the message is enough is enough. We all know, the world may not be knowing what happened not only 30 years ago, since 1947, when Sikh nation was captured in the Indian map, that how one after the other policy of the government of India was focused on eliminating Sikhs, destroying us, absorbing us in the Hindu mainstream. One of the freelance writers, anthropologist Milan Kundra, has said one thing which fits into what we are going through. He said, the first step towards liquidation of a people is to destroy its books, its culture, its history. Then have somebody to write new books, invent new culture, create new history. Before long, those people will forget what they were and what they are. The struggle of memory against forgetting is the struggle which we are facing today. On one hand, in these 30 years, over 12 governments changed in Delhi. It was not only Congress, it was VP Singh, Chandrasekhar, people those Sikhs always considered as their friends. Nothing changed, nothing changed. The things have gone from bad to worse and worse to worst. Today, Hindu fundamentalist Modi is ruling India. And what a joke. Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister for 10 years. He said 3.5 lakh rupees for everybody killed in November 84. And this neo-Nazi Modi says, no, 5 lakh rupees for every killed Sikh. That is where we are. And the message is very clear. Sikhs for Justice deserves our not only patting on the back, our thanks that in the last 7 years, they have brought this case of genocide on the international arena. It may be Kamal Nath, it may be Amitabh Bachchan, it may be Sonia, it may be Manmohan Singh. They all had been held accountable, at least in United States courts. It's a different story that the US administration, which didn't give Modi visa for past 7 years, has now bent backwards to welcome him in the White House. But the way Sikhs organized protests during his visit again is commendable, and that shows that after 30 years, Sikhs have come to a conclusion. You are seeing these banners of referendum 2020 in front of you, and looking at it, I was remembering that quote of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, which he wrote in a form of letter of victory, Zafarnama, to Aurangzeb. In that letter, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib said, you will be very happy that you have snuffed out few candles, but the whole hot, burning furnace of Khalsa is around me. I'll make Punjab so hot that your horses won't be able to gallop around the plains of Punjab. कि तू बड़ा खुश होवेगा, तू मेरे 4 पुत्र मार दिते, तू मेरे हज़ारां सिख मार दिते, पर तू तो 4 अंगियारे बुझाए ने। खालसा जो भांबड़ है वो बाकी है। मैं तेरे घोड़ियां दियां खुरियां थले ऐसी अग बालांगा कि पंजाब दे दरियावां दे पानियां दा एक भी घुट तैनूं पीना नसीब नहीं होएगा। इतिहास गवाह है, हिस्ट्री इज evidence that Sikhs changed the whole culture of that land, routed out that tyrants, that tyrannical regime from the face of India, the Mughals, the Afghans, the British colonialists, and today Hindutva rulers. The fact is that now we are out of the victimhood. When we say justice, it means very clear what justice means. And as it was quoted by Dr. Saab earlier, Martin Luther King, he said, injustice anywhere is the threat to justice everywhere. Today, the representatives of 193 countries sitting inside, they owe their allegiance to the Charter of Human Rights. And that Charter of Human Rights gives the right of self-determination to the suffering people, to the suffering nation. And one thing more I like to mention, the preamble of this UN Charter of Human Rights very clearly says that if a man is not to be compelled as a last resort to rebellion, his human rights must be protected by the rule of the law. Sikhs, after 30 years, they have come to the conclusion, enough is enough. No more with Hindu India. The Sarbat Khalsa of January 26, 1986 had already decided, and the 5-membered Panth Committee declared on 29th April 1986 that Khalistan is the only solution now left for the Sikhs. And following in the footsteps, the lead of the Sarbat Khalsa, Sikhs for Justice have taken up this challenge that by 2020 we will create awareness around, not only amongst our own people, but even amongst these representatives, these nations, United Nations, and ultimately in the next 6-7 years, we will be in a position to exercise our right of self-determination the way people of Scotland have exercised. If in Scotland after 307 years the union with the England can be challenged, if in Quebec in 1980, in 1995 referendum can happen, if in East Timor, Macedonia, Kosovo, that right can be used by the people to decide what kind of structure they want. Sikhs have the same right of self-determination for their own independent sovereign country between the river Jamna and the Wagah border. I may conclude, and this should be very clear, that when we say right of self-determination, we mean an independent sovereign nation of Khalistan. There shouldn't be any fear. Unfortunately, some of our media as well tries to eliminate that voice which talks about Khalistan. I was in Yuba city last weekend. How the Khalistan voice was eliminated. It's already on the different networks in the social media. But from here, again I want to convey the message that let with a loud and clear voice we may proclaim that our sovereignty, our Khalistan, which lead the Akal Takht has given, is the final solution, is the final message, is the final goal. 5 slogans of Akal Takht to aayi awaaz, Khalistan, Khalistan. Akal Takht to aayi awaaz, Khalistan, Khalistan. Akal Takht to aayi awaaz, Khalistan, Khalistan. Akal Takht to aayi awaaz, Khalistan, अकाल तख्त तो आई आवाज, अकाल तख्त तो आई आवाज। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।